gamers, down with the best here, and welcome back to Live and Wired. Joining me, as always, is technical difficulties, but the show must go on. So, joining in the chat box, we have Under the Veil. She is here to help moderate. Fortunately, I guess I won't have to worry too much about the camera switching and focusing on who's talking because, yeah, so we are doing things, or I am doing things, a bit different this week. I've been working on trying to refocus Live and Wired, get things to be a bit more entertaining and a bit more worth checking out later if you missed it. So it's not just 3 hours of people talking about any random thing. The show is going to be 1 hour, and uh, also that's the words I'm looking for here. I'm not going to be focusing on super chats as they come up, just so y'all know. I'm going to have, towards the end of the stream, I'm going to bring up the. Where is my. Okay, I should be able to get to the. Okay, this is great. I should get the super chats up around the last 10 minutes of the 1 hour stream to be able to talk about them then. But I'm going to try and stay on topic as things are. But on the topics of donating money, if anyone is interested in doing so for any reason, I do have a little thing going on. A member of Manic Expression is having some medical problems, and in the description there is a link to the GoFundMe page to help. She needs about $4,000 for a medical procedure, which is kind of time sensitive. I'm this Monday. I'm going to be getting my another one of my teeth taken care of with another little root canal, but those aren't nearly as emergency laden, and I can pay for that. So yes, if anyone wants to help with medical stuff, she needs help. Links in the description to the GoFundMe right there. And let's see. Okay, yes. My intention was to have Lou. I wanted someone to bounce off of, but that's not exactly what I meant. Uh, so, so. Yeah, we got topics to cover. We have topics. I've set up topics. This is what I was saying on the podcast, how I wanted the future of Live and Wired to be. So this should be how it will continue in the future. Mostly, but things aren't exactly going according to plan right now, in case you didn't notice. Got my dog going crazy in the background, and my co-host is not here. So this is not quite what I was intending. But focused on specific topics and about 1 hour long. That's what topics? What topics? Well, first thing first is, yeah, Scream 5 and The Matrix 4 have just come out. Full disclosure, I have not seen either of them, but I have seen a lot of the responses to them, and it's interesting because they have both been quite polarizing. Matrix 4, of course, came out earlier, and I was reviewing the early Matrix movies. I still have some coming. One, I got two out already, so I got the third one coming. It's okay, Lou. It's just Dobby. It's just Dobby. Oh, and of course, as is tradition on Live and Wired, every time, Lou, every episode, I have a new location, and in case you haven't noticed, things haven't been going that great for the last year, so I have moved to a van down by the river. So, the interesting thing to me about the Matrix 4 and Scream 5 is they both are doing effectively the same thing, but they went about it in different ways. They're both capitalizing on the popularity of a late 90s, early 2000s series in pushing into that kind of nostalgia era for a remake or a sequel. In this case, both sequels. But the Matrix seemed to go about it a way. Lou, yeah, you tell him, Dobby. The Matrix seemed to go about it in the whole. What's the word I'm looking for here? deconstruction way, the thing that a lot of media has been doing and has not been received particularly well, and indeed the reception of the new Matrix movie has not been positive. Uh, Now, the new Scream, on the other hand, the reception I've seen on that seems to be very. Is the new Matrix movie any good? Not a fan of Scream, asks Julia Goodwin. Unfortunately, I don't really know personally because I have yet to see them myself. I just know the reception has been that the new Matrix is more of a deconstruction kind of sequel, and as such has not been very well received. Whereas the new Scream is more a homage, more trying to kind of make a really nice movie in the style of the old ones, in respect for the memory of Wes Craven, and a lot of people say it has done that phenomenally so. Uh, no Lawrence Fishburne as Morph sucks. Yeah, that's another thing. They did not get Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus for no real. Like, I'm not entirely. I think that there was. I heard something about it was explained in some way, but I don't know. Yeah, Clint Smith. That seems to be the going theme. Is that yeah, Scream, yeah, Matrix not so great. And I was getting kind of frustrated because I was reviewing the Scream and Matrix movies with the idea of, okay, new ones are coming out. I want to have something relevant up, and the new Matrix comes, and everyone's like, "Ah, this is crap," and I'm like, "Oh, not again." People aren't gonna want to look up reviews for a movie when everyone says it's crap. Why do they keep doing? It's like a whole bunch of times I've been reviewing movies because a new one of that series is coming, and then it comes and everyone hates it, and I'm like, ugh. And I still want to see it. I just know that a lot of the reception has been negative. So, uh, did I do the Animatrix? Nah, I have not done the Animatrix. That would be a hard one to review because it's really disjointed. There are a few strong points in it. Certainly the opening little Animatrix short is one of the stronger points of the whole package. But beyond that, it's extremely disjointed. There's an interesting bit of lore here and there, but the Animatrix is difficult to review in my style. It's something you have to see. No one can tell you what the Matrix is. You have to see for yourself. Double goes for the Animatrix. Well, yeah, but the thing is, I honestly don't try to be the angry reviewer, the big angry tear it apart kind of guy. I mean, it's when the Matrix, whatever the hell the new one's called, it comes out and is just disliked almost universally. That's good money for the critical drinker, but I'm here trying to talk about how much I enjoy some previous Matrix movies, and it's like, and this one sucks. So I'm like, fucking A. But fortunately, the new Scream seems to actually be very well received. So I'm like, yay! I've heard. I think I heard like some people talk bad about it, but it's very fleeting, and I don't know. Well, that kind of deserved it, in my opinion. I just felt like I had something to say there. Uh, Seen the Animatrix on HBO long ago. I had the DVD, if I remember right. Also, I'm wondering, can I still get in contact with Dick Black Dad? I don't know where he is. I don't know if he took a nap and hasn't woken up or something happened. I'm not sure. It's always concerning. Yeah, I enjoyed the Animatrix for what it was, but I mainly enjoyed, like I said, the first one, the CGI little introductory part, some of the deeper lore, uh, and this one particular just kind of off the cuff story about kids in a construction area that was glitching out, having fun with reality not working exactly as it's supposed to. Uh, but yeah, a lot of the Animatrix stories were just incredibly disjointed from what I remember. But it's been so long since I've seen it. But it has been 10 minutes, which means it's time to actually talk about our Live and Wired poll. We have those. So, in the spirit of Scream 5, Matrix 4, hey, there's a 90s and 2000s film series. They could use sequels. No, no, not chat with creator support. Damn it, I'm not trying to do that right now. No, no, no. Close, close, close. This is right next to the create button. Okay, create post. We're creating a post here. Making a poll, and we're asking what 90s or 2000s film series. Damn it. This, there's only 65 characters allowed, so it says needs to get an N. That's not what I'm trying to say here. No, no, no. That was the option point I put in. Okay, boom. There we go. So, option one would be Wayne's World. We had two Wayne's World movies. It's a series. Why can't we see Wayne's World 3? I mean, Mike Myers is still around. Is Dave Pig in the city? Maybe he's now finding himself with a rival that is fake Pig. I don't know, Speed, and Speed 2 Cruise Control, which that wasn't a very nice sounding thing because that just means you don't have to worry about going slower. And it was a boat. It's not hard to keep going with a boat. Open water is a thing. But anyway, then of course we have Twilight. There were a lot of those real quick in the early 2000s, and then they just kind of stopped. Vampires Never Die. There's room there. And of course Spy Kids, which did have Spy Kids did have a planned fifth movie, but that was in 2012, and they canceled it because the kids weren't necessarily kids anymore. But that doesn't mean they can't still make another Spy Kids. There could be more kids that need to be spies. I don't know. But we've got that going here. I'm going to... No, not delete it. I'm going to get the link address and share it in the chat right here. Boom. Oh, there it is for everyone to find in the YouTube community posts page. I have someone who doesn't always get passionately angry during his reviews, like Film Master Adam or The Critical Drinker. Sure blew out eardrums to the Predator review during naming the... Oh, God, that scene. That was... In what part? In the part where I actually did the full review with the clips from the movie? Or when I was in the car just telling you what I saw? I feel like that was the initial reaction right there. Was just raw. It was too much for YouTube. They age restricted that video. The one with me just in the car talking about the movie. They age restricted that one. Oh god. Oh man. But we gotta move on to the topic that is on everyone's mind right now. NFTs. What are they? Why are they everywhere? And what even is going on? Now, this is another reason why I wanted to have Thick Black Daddy here to talk, because I feel like it would be more interesting if I was actually discussing this with someone and hearing their words on it. But I guess we're just going to have to do that with the chat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone by now has heard of NFTs and are fucking sick of them. Yeah, Xanthus. Yeah. Pretty much. It's not very well received in general. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, I think it stands for. To put it as plain as possible, it's like cryptocurrency, but more constrained artificially. Therefore, you can make scarcity, which is literally artificial scarcity, because there's no other way to really... There's no reason for it to be scarce except for the artificial scarcity put on top of it, which has created this bubble spectators market. Speculators market. Sorry, not speculator market. Kind of like, remember when comic books, there was the thing where they're like, hey, comic books, that's a better investment than stocks. Look at this. This comic book sold for this damn much. Oh my god, comic books. It created a speculators market, and the comic book industry capitalized on that right away, started printing out collector's editions with all kinds of variant covers out the ass. And then when people actually tried to cash in all this investment that they put into that, they found out that it was worth dick. And it absolutely crashed that. But the thing is, that involved actual brick and mortar, like, production. And the comics industry had to invest a lot in the manufacture to get that going. NFTs are in a different kind of speculator market where the manufacturing is almost nothing. So you have all these companies are like, hey, we can make nothing, and idiots will give us tons of money for it. So of course all these companies are jumping on it, and it's adoptables repackaged or crypto. It's kind of cryptocurrency with extra steps, effectively. And here's the thing: NFTs and games. Eddie heard yeah, it doesn't really help anything. And there there is one thing NFTs in games actually can provide, and they absolutely never will. There is one benefit that NFT system in games can provide that they absolutely won't. NFTs are pretty much a solution to a problem we already have a solution to. NFTs are a token that it's like a deed. It's a token that can't be copied. That you can say this means I own this. So this piece of digital good, this token means I own it. Technically, you can have an NFT deed for anything. That could be a deed for your house if you wanted to as an NFT. But the the thing with owning, it's therefore it's digital rights management. That's how it sits right now. Now, I'm sure you know, anyone who uses Steam, anyone who uses any kind of digital store knows we already have digital rights management. But the thing with NFTs is since you own the NFT, technically speaking, you could sell your NFT to someone else and give them the rights to your digital goods that you no longer have the rights to. It would be able to create a used games market from digital games, which is exactly why that's never going to fucking happen. They will not allow that one. One of the reasons for the big push towards all digital consoles is to make sure that there is no fucking used games market. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. So NFTs are going into this big speculator bubble, the speculator market, big bubble. It's going to burst, and it's going to take down a lot of cryptocurrencies with it. It's going to be a bad day for all crypto, and it's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. Whew. Wait, me or Under the Veil? And I'm out of focus, is what I am. Uh, I'm I'm living in that van down by the river, but it feels nice here in Texas right now. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, the stolen art thing. Yeah. Uh, the thing with the NFTs and stolen art is it's kind of like the same thing with stolen art for mugs and T-shirts, where people are selling other people's arts to try and because it's easier than actually making your own art to sell your own stuff. But doing it with NFTs is another aspect of that, where it's just it's more of the same, where it's people trying to capitalize off of people with much more money than sense. Bubble's already bursting. Whole stock market has been red for a month. Yeah, the people will talk about Bitcoin tanking. I tell you, my Doge is next to fucking worthless right now. Oh well. Oh well. As I said, only ever buy as much as you're perfectly fine with losing forever, and it looks like that's what's gonna happen. Uh, oh man. So that is another 10 minutes down, which means it's time to move on to another topic. Man, I wish, I wish Thick Black Daddy was here. I was, we were talking earlier, but I don't know. Lou, please. Anyway, next really big piece of news that I'm pretty sure Thick Black Daddy would have a lot to say about. Lou, it's Dobby. It's fine. Now that's what I call hostile takeover. Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. That was something to wake up to. It was a couple of days ago, but it's something that everyone's still just talking about a lot. And like, holy crap, what does this all mean? And yeah, the that's I mean, people were expecting for Microsoft to go acquiring more things, but yeah, some suggest that they did technically pay over the market price, but also Activision Blizzard's market price had gone down considerably because of all the controversies lately, which is making some people wonder if some of that wasn't necessarily frauded. Right? Okay, just a second. I hold on, just a minute. I have to get the cat out of the room. Okay. So, well, yeah, it's a big gobble up from Microsoft, but still better than Tencent buying it. Yeah, Tencent has been buying a lot of the games industry lately. Uh, Star Wars was bought for was it only 4 billion? Because I remember Bethesda was bought for just about 7 billion, was it, or 8 billion? I can't remember, but uh, yeah, the whole thing with the hostile takeover of Activision Blizzard is that has made a lot of games now Microsoft properties. A lot of popular games. And there's talks like I said. There's already been talks between Microsoft and Sony talking about, hey, this is a very popular game on our system, and it seems you own it now. So what's going on there? And who has the rights to Boogerman? God, who made Boogerman again? Jeez, I remember Boogerman. I remember being somewhat disappointed in Boogerman because I beat it in 2 days, and I was like, really, that was a very short game. Mainly is because of the password saves and such made it a lot easier to actually beat that game. I could just keep trying on the last boss over and over again instead of playing the whole game. But yeah, Sony has secured the rights to a lot of very important games. That who has the rights to Astro Tit? I think Astro Tit is considered abandonware, and you can probably just find Astro Tit on your own and play it if you feel like it. But I don't. You'd have to load Astro Tit into DOSBox and calibrate the CPU right because the speed of the game is based entirely around the CPU cycles. If you try and play it on a modern system, it's just gonna in a femtosecond just it's already started and you're dead. How about the Sony Game Pass? That's no, not put user in timeout. God damn it. That's from what I can tell is effectively Sony is taking the Sony Game Pass they already have, PlayStation Now, and they're kind of rebranding, repackaging it. PlayStation Now does not get a lot of love. PlayStation Plus, on the other hand, is very big and very popular. So PlayStation Now is being rolled into a tiered system with PlayStation Plus. So PlayStation Now is probably going to turn into something called PlayStation Plus Platinum, something along those lines, and that's going to have the previous PlayStation catalog and all that for the monthly price on top of everything else. And yeah, that is what it is. Let's see. Still refused to buy an Xbox, even if Microsoft buys a good company instead of Bethesda, Activision, or EA will fuck up all its games and turn them into mindless shit. Fair. Um, I can't detect the lie here. uh, yeah, it's just it's a major shakeup. And of course, everyone's saying, "Oh, well, Phil Spencer seems very interested in some of the older games, such as Hexen." I was like, "Yo, yeah, it doesn't mean there's going to actually be one." Technically, Microsoft could say, "Okay, we own this property. We can get any of these studios we have to make something out of it." But that doesn't mean that's going to happen. Xbox buys Activision, still only makes Call of Duty. Yeah, yeah. People would say, "Oh, well, now they can be broken away from Call of Duty." It's like, well, there's a reason they were making Call of Duty. It's because that's what made them the money, and evidently, it didn't make them quite enough of it. So, oh god, Microsoft gets control of Capcom and Atlas, and all their games become first-person shooters with microtransactions and NFTs. You have to buy to get the game. Oh, that what didn't on PlayStation One or Sega Saturn, one of the versions of Battle Arena Toshinden, maybe both of them, had a first-person mode. It was extremely difficult to play. The graphics were ass, did not look very good up close, but because it was 3D and that was a real new thing, it was like you can. It's like you're there. It's like yeah, it's like they're kicking my ass with their big clubbed square hands. It was amazing. I loved it. uh, okay. Thank fucking Christ, Nintendo refuses to get involved with Microsoft. There's that. There's that. But I think video games will go with the metaverse trend. I'm still trying to figure out entirely what the metaverse is. I understand NFTs better than I do the metaverse. I guess I should have watched Zuckerberg's presentation on the metaverse, but as far as I can tell, it's just kind of like all of those chat programs that Microsoft is showing off at the HoloLens, but their stuff. It's like we have a unified thing with this, that, or the other. Talking about NFTs with the metaverse, though, is like, oh, come on. You do. They are unnecessary for what you're trying to do and for what people would technically be able to do with them. You don't want them to do that, so you're not going to let them, so this is pointless. Do you watch Hell of a Boss or any other content creators? Not that I can recall. Uh, I'm still trying to figure that out. It's like non fungible token or something. But it's pretty much another word for Bitcoin. It's uh, Nintendo or Sega. Well, the Dreamcast was made with Windows NT, and there was some talk of. It's like before in the Xbox On or Power On document. What the hell is that documentary was called? They there was an interesting little part where they were talking about when they started making the Xbox. One of their first ideas was to acquire a company that already existed, and Sega was literally right there, struggling. They worked with Microsoft before. Microsoft Windows, whatever the hell, was part of Windows CE, was part of the Dreamcast DNA. But then in the documentary, they're like, yeah, that was an interesting idea. But if we really want to do it, we're going to go for Nintendo. So we went to Nintendo, and they did not care. uh, so yeah, like the rivalry of Sega and Nintendo. That's what I grew up with. I was a Sega kid. I was a Sega kid. But yeah, just the whole thing with the whole thing with just the acquisition Blizzard. The one thing for me personally is I have been boycotting Activision Blizzard for a long time now because of their business practices and their public stances on things. And now it's owned by Microsoft, so it's like, okay, great. Okay, well, I'm using Windows right now. What do I do then? Do I stop using Microsoft products and try and move over to Apple? Is Apple better or worse than them in this regard? Shit. It's gotten to the point where it's kind of like you can really, really, really not like China's stance on fuck human rights, but if you try and cut Chinese products out of your life entirely, you're probably going to die in a week. It's not easy, to say the least. Yeah. So, I guess on the plus side, maybe I'll actually play the Diablo 2 remaster once it comes to Game Pass. I can't be on my high horse talking about how I boycott Blizzard. So, damn it. Have to wait and see if they clean the company out or not. For now, the boycott can still stand for the game company. Yeah, well, also, the purchase hasn't been finalized yet. So, say I go out and I buy all the Diablos, and then I come home and they're like, oh, actually, they decided that would be too monopolistic and they're not allowed. I'm like, fuck. uh, but, yes, 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 yes. Speaking of things that we don't like and censorship of things, uh, yeah, in case you haven't noticed, you're not allowed to. Well, you are allowed to dislike on YouTube, but you can't see the dislikes on YouTube because YouTube cares about what how you feel. They swear, but there's still kind of a spot that you can. But it's the way YouTube has it set up right now. Publicly visible dislikes are now invisible. Barely hear me. What? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh boy. Okay. But yeah, removing dislikes not good, not good. I do not agree. Also, the whole thing about it's for mental health. I can tell you this much from my perspective as a YouTube content creator. My experience with dislikes hasn't changed. The way I see dislikes is not by going to my video on the public page and looking to see what the dislike bar is there. I go into my dashboard and see my video analytics and stuff. And the dislikes are right fucking there, as they always have been, just as prevalent. I still have the big percentage sign. I still have YouTube telling me whether, hey, this is too many dislikes. You fucking suck at content creation. I still get that. YouTube treats me exactly the same as they did before. So this whole, it's for the mental health of creators, I can't fucking tell. There's literally no difference from my end of what happened. It's all public. It's all the users. It is all of you guys out there that are getting the effect of it, where you just are not allowed to see how many people don't agree with a video. Which, if you want to play devil's advocate and say that YouTube's intentions are entirely benevolent here, there is still a pretty big problem of the fact that this does measurably mean that propaganda is now more effective on the platform. If you're not allowed to see people disagreeing with something, propaganda works better. So, is this intentional from YouTube? Honestly, it doesn't matter if it is or not. The effect is the same. And oh goddamn, really? Why? Uh, but the thing with, like, I experienced something kind of along the lines of, oh god damn it, God, what is wrong with my dang microphone? This ain't making me a happy. This is making me an angry. Okay, I got an idea here. As soon as I can find this. Okay. I got it.
Okay, there it is. Might be extremely loud. Let me move it a little further down. Okay, are we good, or am I exploding everyone's eardrums? Okay. Took off the headset since I'm not listening to anyone talk to me, and I got the lapel mic in. There it is. There we go. Now, as I was saying before, my voice kept cutting out. Removing the visible dislikes means that propaganda works better. Now, one of the effects I've seen that was kind of just something I encountered was I was looking at a video that was just what are the graphical changes between Serious Sam 3 and Serious Sam 4? And I was personally expecting, it was like, okay, Serious Sam 4 really doesn't look much better and runs like shit. And a lot of the design choices for the creatures are questionable at best, and Serious Sam doesn't look like Serious Sam anymore. So what's this video going to talk about? And this guy was provided the code, and he was talking like glowing about everything. And I was thinking like, this no one should agree with this. And I scrolled down to see the likes and dislikes, but the dislikes were disabled. So all I saw was everyone fucking loves this. There's thousands of people agree with this. And I'm like, motherfucker. So, yeah. Yeah, content from like 5-minute crafts and the only channels that benefit from this. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not good. Whether the whole thing about, oh, it's got this benefit, that benefit, that benefit, all this stuff they've talked about, really, I don't see that as much of, it doesn't, it's like, oh, if people can't see their dislikes, they're less likely to dislike, and therefore it's going to be better for people's mental health. It's like, and right now there's everyone is happy, everyone is liking, there are no dislikes, there never were. It's like, even if that was true, that there are like slightly less dislikes happening right now, and therefore that's better for the mental health of people, maybe. The fact that it makes propaganda so much more effective, I think, kind of outweighs the perceived benefits. Just my opinion on that one. Like, maybe don't make things like, don't make propaganda so easy to propagate. That's an idea. So. As the next step, removing the ability to block recommended channels, maybe. And yeah, there's of course the fact that this choice happened after quite a few, not creators, but companies kept getting the shit disliked out of what they were putting up. Hey, if they can't hack it on YouTube, that's not my fault. They should be better YouTubers. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, there's YouTube Kids, something that could be understandable, but it's like it's just a straight carte blanche right here, and it's not like we haven't seen before. It was another thing where big names would put something up, it would get disliked into oblivion, and then weirdly, hundreds of thousands of the dislikes would just evaporate at certain times. How on earth did that happen? So, speaking of things we all dislike, yeah. I was gonna mention, like, okay, like I'm bringing Live and Wired back. One of the things we tend to focus on is the passing of important celebrities. There have been a few. Like, not even just since last Live and Wired, which was a long, long time ago. Just in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, first of all, to start the new year, or right before the start of the new year, there's Betty White. And now we got Bob Saget, Louis Anderson. Just the other day, Meatloaf. He's yeah, and also there's the personal losses. Under the Veil lost their best friend on Saturday. Thick Black Daddy lost his mother relatively recently. I lost my mother relatively recently. I lost my grandmother relatively recently. It's if people could stop dying, like that'd be preferable. I mean, we might end up in a Death Race 2050 situation, but I would like that better. Like, very sorry to hear, Phil. Yeah, is not good. Not good. Is just so yeah. I don't know what to say, really. This is another thing where it would really help to have Thick Black Daddy here to bounce off of, just to have something besides, yeah. Oh, yes, John. Yes, John. The Grim Reaper should take a 5-year break and smoke a blunt. I'm starting to run out of family to lose, honestly. But yeah, Betty White was close to 100 years, but that's also part of the reason why it was actually very shocking. Was number one, she was so close, and number two, generally it seems that when there are people who are, what are they, centennials, what are they called? People who live for a century, they usually seem to, like, there's certain people who, like, what was it, George Burns, I think was the actor's name, where he famously said, like, he smoked cigars like a lot, and people asked him, like, if he was worried about his health, and he famously said that he was going to live to be 100, and he did. He made it to 100, and then he died. So, the Green Reaper take another holiday like Meet Joe Black. And she had made it so long that we just expected her to keep going. She cheated the Grim Reaper for such a long time. Yeah. And that's true as well, Chris. When someone lives at 99 years and the world says it's not enough, it is testimony to their character. There were a lot of very very touching Betty White videos that were released shortly after, with just her banter on set, making jokes and talking back to the director at times. There's also this Betty White challenge, if I'm not. What was it? Okay, there was the Betty White challenge on Monday the 17th. Okay, $22,000 raised. I can't remember for what. I know there was a reason. There was some kind of specific thing, but I can't quite recall. Okay. Okay, I was wondering there. Yeah, skiing. Well, yes, that is true, but at the same time, I kind of am getting tired of everyone I know and love dying. I'd like them not to. For a little, it's very frustrating when my mother passed, because my fiance had been telling me that, hey, you should probably go back up north and say hi, visit, do something. And I was like, yes, I should. And I was always thinking, like, I got, I still have time and such. I did not have as much time as I thought I did. Dang it. Yeah. Is a lot. Is a lot. We could probably move on to the final topic, which is more just kind of shooting the shit, as it were. For Live and Wired's 1 hour show, I want to spend the last 10 minutes or so just kind of interacting with the chat and just talking about general stuff that you all would like to speak of. But also, I need to check to see where. Yeah, there's the live control room. Okay. Now, where is the super chats? Because that's kind of important. There were some. Okay, evidently it did not save that super chat there. Great. It was only one, so it's not too bad. But what was it? Dang it. That was a long time ago, and it will not let me scroll up that far to get to it. At least not there. Maybe I can do it here. What was the super chat that I had missed? The one and only super chat. Wish that Thick Black Daddy was here. Really wish that Thick Black Daddy was here. If Thick Black Daddy was here right now. There we go. Don't Look Up is Armageddon mixed with Idiocracy. That sounds kind of fun. Oh, well, now that's fine. I'm just responding to general stuff here anyway. Is a super chatter still here? That's the real question, because that was like an hour ago. Oh man. Okay. So, yeah, there's just a lot. I'm out of water. This is expensive water, I'll have you know. Hey, that's fine, Sebastian. It is tax season. It is a thing that happens. And also, like I said earlier in the stream, if anyone is feeling donatey, there is a link in the description to someone in need who has a GoFundMe going for medical expenses. So I personally would rather it go there than into my pockets. Just my opinion. Yeah, that is a problem that a lot of us have. What is a film, series / movie that I've wanted to review but haven't had the time to do? Oh, what isn't there? There's a ton that I've been just trying to catch up on, and it's better now that I've actually gotten things on kind of a schedule. Slightly frustrating that today, because I decided, okay, I'm bringing Live and Wired back, that does mean that I have otherwise this day would have been spent scripting my next review, and I've got a lot done. Just so you know, I got like the next review is already done. The one after that is already done. I'm working on the one after the next one. And I would have gotten that script done today if I weren't trying to get Live and Wired together and all of that. But yeah, things that I have wanted to do but have not. Generally, my show is just I do whatever I want. So that's kind of my whole thing. Like I've personally lately wanted to do something other than horror because for so long I've just been getting a video up like every 3 weeks or every month, and I've had to focus on horror because that does the best numbers, and I'm there like, oh god, my channel's dying. I need to make sure it not die. And so I've been focusing on horror, and I've been thinking I want to do something other than horror. And so I was thinking of that earlier, and I'm realizing, wait, I've already done that. Like I was doing Scream and Matrix, and now we got Godzilla King of the Monsters coming up, and I've got Guns Akimbo. That one's coming up. Neither of those are horror. None of that's horror. So it's all still stuff that's well within stuff I've already done before, like the same kinds of genres I tend to touch on. But I just have been doing what I feel like, and I've been enjoying it. Just until the last topic, you were looking a lot better mentally, psychologically, and even physically. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the other things about getting things done on time, on a proper schedule. For me, one of the things that has really helped is just identifying what my problem with getting things done was and figuring out how to solve that problem. Honestly, one of my biggest problems was that I have a very difficult time telling someone, no, I can't help you. And that was the main thing that was like getting in the way. Is like I could sit there all day and think like, they pulled me away from my work, and or this has happened there, and it got interrupted my work. That happened, now I couldn't work. But the only one stopping me from working was myself. All I had to do was tell them, hey, I gotta work. And I found it's a lot easier to do that when I have scheduled time. When I'm like, okay, from 1 to 7, boom, that's work days. From Tuesday through Saturday, 1 to 7, boom, there it is. I'm working. And so, thank you. That's another thing. I've gotten some nice verb, like verb curl shampoo to go with my curl cream, my curl leave-in conditioner. I've got such great little products. Cost $100, but it is what it is. Oh, beauty is pain. Well, I kind of am going through StreamYard, which means that it's very difficult. Like, I don't have access to the like button from where I'm at. Sorry. Yeah. I miss your breakdowns from early ones you did in-depth analysis with the alien Xenos. You could get into that again with the kaijus or other genres. Yeah, that's one thing that I've wanted to do it's been a long time, is I've wanted to do another little quick scientific analysis style video, but that's been something that I've been a little too busy with the reviews to get around to. And again, when things were not going so smoothly, and I got a video out every 3 weeks, focusing on it has to be a horror review, kind of got in the way of doing more creative stuff. Oh yeah, time management is always the killer. For me, just having a schedule and sticking to it has helped a lot. Also, saying it's work time keeps me from sabotaging myself as well. So I don't sit there on TikTok all day like, like that doesn't happen as well. So yay. I feel like I could be the Head and Shoulders spokesman. I could be a spokesman for hair products and hair care. And I'm also rather miffed that Daniel Radcliffe was chosen to play young Weird Al. Pardon me, but I've seen young Weird Al. UHF was one of my favorite movies as a little kid. Okay. Daniel Radcliffe. I'm sure he's going to do a great job, but Daniel Radcliffe. Damn it. But, yeah. Getting to only a couple of minutes left, so now is the time that we should really jump into my favorite part of Live and Wired, shameless self-promotion. UHF is free to watch on YouTube. There we go. What have I been working on lately? Well, I've got a lot of reviews lined up already, trying to keep to schedule, but that's two-pronged. Number one, I have to get the work done. Number two, it has to get through copyright jail first. I've got a copyright strike for the original Scream review. That's currently blocked. So I've got that legal dispute going with Miramax right now. I've invited them to take me to court if they so feel that I have violated their copyright. And they have to prove to Google that they have, in fact, filed legal action against me. Otherwise, the strike gets removed and the video reinstated. So that's going to take a couple of weeks. Once that's done, I can actually dig into Scream 3. But the next review lined up is Matrix 3, which I think that might be the last one that I have. No, I think that's the first review, actually, with my new glasses. And then there's, after that, the Guns Akimbo review should be next, but I'm currently fighting a copyright claim with that one. And then following that should be the one I'm working on right now, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, beyond that, I've still got to get content out of the gaming channel. I have not done that in forever. But I'm trying to really focus on the main channel right now. Like, before it was because I didn't have anything out for anything. Now it's because I'm trying to have about a month of reviews ready ahead of time, so that I am able to fight through the copyright stuff. And if I get sick or something and I have to take a week off, it's not going to completely screw me. So I'm working on catching up to having that month buffer. Then I'm hoping to get back to making proper gaming content. Do I get copyright strikes before posting public? Yeah. Well, usually claims, but like with the Scream review, they hit it with a claim, and then I had to file a dispute there. Had to wait 2 days for the video to be visible, and then it was posted. And then they sat on it for a month, and then they rejected the dispute, and it was blocked again. And then I disputed that, and then it was visible for another month, and then they rejected that and hit me with a strike, and now it's invisible. Well, YouTube was telling me it was visible for that last week before they removed it, but it was in fact blocked that entire week. The Analytics made it kind of plain as day when I'm looking at it, and we swear it's visible. It's just not getting any views. Imagine that. But yeah. Also, one thing I should mention. I'm sure you've noticed I've removed the credits sequence from my reviews. There's a bit of a reason for that. When I was looking over my analytics and such, trying to figure out how I can work to come back strong and make sure that everything's great, the credits, I don't fault people for this, but like 60% of the people who made it to the end of the video dropped off right at the start of the credits. And so I'm there like, okay, maybe YouTube prefers a higher percentage of people to actually reach it all the way to the end. So I've removed the credits, and indeed, YouTube is always throwing a party for every single upload now, saying, hey, here's your top moment, and there's a whole video. It's like, yeah, thanks, great. I personally enjoyed making the credits. I liked it. I liked having the music from Ichabod Todd there, but YouTube prefers to YouTube prefers people making it all the way through the video over that amount of watch time that I would get there. So post-credit scenes, I've had those. Or do you mean like skits and like parts of review or so? I don't know. But I always have a bit after the manic expression splash of just a little funny part. Put the credits in the beginning. Oh no, that's even worse. That'll cause people to drop off immediately. People don't. There's the amount of people that skip through it, which YouTube doesn't like seeing that there's a big dip there. But then there's the amount of people that just stop right away. YouTube really doesn't like that. Where am I going to get them? Now that is an interesting concept. But yeah, we are over the hour mark now, and I should mention also Under the Veil there is working on their own YouTube channel. They've got a how to describe this. Creepy tales from reality that might not necessarily be reality, or might, but they're certainly creepy. It's like real things like, hey, the plague. And also things that are real but not, like, hey, the Mothman. You know, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. How do you describe that? What's that genre? Creep? No. Spoopy? Disturbing? I don't know about Twilight Zone. Maybe similar in tone, but a little more grounded in reality. Though Twilight Zone is But yes, Under the Veil right here in the chats. She has her channel going. She's been working on some projects there. We may be working together in the future. I am not entirely planned out on everything, but I'm hoping that I can figure out why Thick Black Daddy didn't make it. We were discussing starting Live and Wired today over this week, and we're discussing things earlier today. So I'm hoping he's okay. That's good. That's good. But yep. Well, there goes my green screen all over the place. So, links to the channel. Let's see. When I can post a link, I do creepy folklore, paranormal history, historical disasters. Yeah, there we go. That's how you describe it. Creepy folklore, paranormal history, and historical disaster. That's exactly. And yes, you may link. So that is. Oh, almost forgot the most important part now. We got the Live and Wired poll. I didn't point out exactly what the results are. We got 417 votes. How? There's only 100 people watching. Oh, well. This is an interesting little race. Twilight only came in at 7%. Babe got 8%. Spike hit 17. Speed 27, which means at a whopping 41%. The film series that needs a new sequel in the 2020s is Wayne's World. Very nice. Very nice. So, thank you all for watching. I have been Dr. Shado. And remember, the show must go on. So it's got a schedule and it needs to keep to it.